Why is it that some brands scale and some brands fail? Or some brands just like break through all of the noise in the market, where other ones just peter along and don't see the success that they're looking for? Well, in this video, I'm going to share seven psychological principles that you can apply to your brand to break through the noise, to attract more of your ideal clients, and to scale your business. My name is Kay Putnam. I'm the psychology-driven brand strategist, and I help entrepreneurs change the world with what they know. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you're enjoying this video content, please press the subscribe button, and then the little bell will tell you every time I post a new video, and I have lots of really great content coming your way soon, all about scaling and growing your brand. So definitely press the button. All right, first of all, what is brand psychology, right? So let's start by reading just a few definitions of what a brand is and then what psychology is, because there's so many definitions of both. So let's kind of come to a common understanding, and then I'm gonna give you those 7 secrets that you can apply to your brand. So the American Marketing Association says that a brand is a name, term, design, symbol, or any other feature that uniquely identifies one seller's goods or services from other ones. So it's basically the things that make you you in the market. And that can be all sorts of different symbols. So it could be like your logo, which is what everybody thinks of, down to your catchphrases, or even a specific scent if you have a brick and mortar business. I mean, think about walking by an Abercrombie store in the mall. They're branding and they're becoming recognizable just through that insane amount of cologne that they spray in their store. Father of advertising, David Ogilvy, I am so ashamed, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right, but he says a brand is an intangible sum of a product's attributes. And then from businessdictionary.com says brands help harried consumers in a crowded and complex marketplace by standing for certain benefits and virtues or values. My definition is that a brand is this intentional alignment over time. So you're continually shaping the way that your ideal client perceives you through all of those different triggers and symbols. So it's shaped by all of the touch points with your brand and also by the cultural context that you're living in. So intentional alignment over time. Now the psychology side of things, let's see, a really simple and useful one is from the American Psychological Association, who say it's the study of how the mind works and how it affects behavior. So I think it's obvious why psychology is so important in branding, right? Because if we're selling to humans, we have to know what makes them act in a specific way. We have to appeal to their human instincts, whether they're conscious of them or not. All right, so let's get into the 7 brand psychology strategies that you can apply to make your brand even more amazing. Now, this isn't a conclusive list, but these are some of my favorites that I use when I'm working with my clients one-on-one or in my brand new brand program. The first secret is you have to understand that humans make decisions emotionally first. Then they back it up with logic. So your brand has to meet them at that emotional level. I have another video that explains ways that you can add emotion into your brand, so watch that one next if you want some more tricks and tactics to do that. But essentially, we want to convey a specific personality, we want to tell stories, use images, everything that's going to hit your ideal client at the heart and gut level, as opposed to just appealing to their brain, is what is going to make them ultimately choose you. And then we also need to back things up with logic. So why, logically, should somebody choose your product or service? You can't just have a purely emotional plea or argument. That'll get you so far, but you have to back it up with that logic, so that that buyer, once that buyer's remorse kicks in, they can rationalize why they bought your brand in the first place. second secret psychological key is to understand that humans are social. We're constantly paying attention to the people and things that influence us, and we're building our identity within that social construct. Like, so our base brain, like our reptile brain, doesn't ever want us to be cast out from the tribe. This goes back to our cavemen and hunter-gatherer days. It would be dangerous to completely stand alone. So we're being influenced by everybody around us. Think about the restaurant that has like a line out the door. That one's automatically more appealing, even if there's one right next door that is completely open and ready to serve you food. Logically, that doesn't make sense, but because humans are social animals, our psychology supports that. We want to show ways that, we want to create that social safety within our own brands. We can do this by using testimonials, by showing how many people follow us on social media, by having case studies, or just by even interacting with other influential peers. It shows that other people trust us, so they can trust us too. Secret number 3 is to connect your brand with some universal human values. I love doing this with brand archetypes because it tells us that we need to like bring our message down again to that like heart and gut level. We don't want to just talk about our products, features, or benefits or whatever. We need to connect to very human, universal values if we want people to truly pay attention to value us. So things like love, community, achievement, individuality, all of these things are connected to the different 12 archetypes that I use with my clients as we're defining their brand stories. And if you want to know what your brand archetype is to help connect to one of those deeper universal values, definitely check out the brand archetype, the brand personality quiz on my site. It's been taken over 80,000 times and that number is growing so quickly. We're almost to 100K, but I'll save that announcement for later. The fourth secret psychological hack or trick or technique, strategy, whatever word best suits your temperament, that we can tap into is understanding how human attention works. So we need to first get people to pay attention to us, to notice us before they're going to stick around for any length of time. Like, our attention spans are ridiculously short, and there's a few different ways that we can do that. Let me share just two techniques that you can use here in this video to get you started. So first is by giving people context, like being a mirror to them. So for example, if you're in a cocktail party and you hear your name, it doesn't matter if somebody's talking about you, like your ears perk up. So if you can identify with your ideal clients to show that you understand them and that you're talking about them specifically in your brand, that's gonna get them to like perk up and to notice even within the sea of sameness. All right, psychological secret number 5 is to understand that the brain always works in making connections. It's always looking for patterns to understand the world around you. So you can create shortcuts to understanding that your clients or ideal clients or audience can pick up on to understand like what your deeper message is in a very, very quick way. So an example of this, again, going back to the brand archetypes, is that there are associations that we make based on like what fonts a brand is using, what images they're using, what archetype they're primarily associating their brand with. All of those things build up this very clear set of associations in your client's minds that help them understand you. So you don't have to write a novel about what your brand stands for. You can use some of those psychological triggers to communicate that to them. Psychological secret number 6 is a weird one. So the more that we see something, a person's face, a logo, anything, the more that we see something, the more that we like it. It's going back to that reptile brain that's trying to keep us safe, right? Anything that's new or novel is exciting, but maybe it's dangerous, like stranger danger. Careful, this person might be trying to harm me or trick me or whatever. But if I see somebody a lot, I begin to like them a lot. And you can play into this by just consistently showing up. Even if you're not doing anything else right, if you're just showing up where your ideal clients are and where they can see you, that consistency is going to build trust over time. All right, the seventh psychological secret that you can tap into is to understand the reward system in your ideal client's brain. So we're constantly looking for hits of dopamine, the distraction hormone in our brain. So if you can provide content that isn't just factual or useful, but also really entertaining or novel or exciting or just something that's fun to watch, you're going to be lighting up those pleasure systems in people's minds. You're giving those people the aha moments that give them that hit of dopamine, that just feel good hormone that's in the brain that makes people want to keep coming back again and again to your brand. So employ one, employ all. But understand the fact that psychology is a core determining factor if your brand is going to be a success or not. So it makes sense to pay attention to how our brains work, because we're all selling to humans. If you found this content interesting, you want to learn more, you want more specific examples, check out some of my other videos, and then also subscribe to this channel. I have lots more coming for you.